Hey everybody, it's Lisa. I am here again with another version of In Vino Veritas. Today I'm traveling, so you'll notice my luxurious new surroundings. They're beautiful, and I love these striped curtains. But I am ready to drink some wine. And so tonight, what I have is a Spanish red. This is called La Fea. It is a Tempranillo Grenache Syrah blend. It's 40-46 or 40-40-20. So I personally sometimes can't do Spanish wines. They tend to be a little harsh, along with Italian wines. That Tempranillo kind of gets to me sometimes. But sometimes they have amazing stuff. So I don't want to just like discount an entire country's wine because that's crazy. So anyway, let's get into this and see what it is. This cute label with La Fea. But anyway, so I'm using hotel wine glasses here, so you'll have to excuse my lack of wininess. So yeah. So it's got really great color. You can see that. It kind of almost looks like a Pinot, like you can see through it to the back. It kind of looks like juice, whereas some of the heavier reds will sometimes be so opaque you can't see through them. But this one's really kind of on the lighter side, like a Pinot. There's a lot of plum and berry in there, but I also smell some like a musty smell, which maybe is supposed to be earthy. I'm not sure how I feel about it because wine shouldn't really be musty. But anyway, let's give it a shot and see what it tastes like. Ooh, heavy on the cherry, heavy on the plum. Lots of fruit in there. It is light. It is very much like a Pinot. It actually, like, if you told me this was a Pinot, I would totally believe that. Because it is very kind of light-ish, but with a lot of fruit on it. So I could see drinking this at, a summer barbecue or something like that. It might be a little too heavy for some red meat, but, you do you. It's all good. Yeah, I'd probably stick to some lighter stuff. Maybe some, like a pork tenderloin. Ooh, that'd be good. Or some ribs, something like that. But, oh, and this retails for around $10 to $15, depending on the vintage. This is actually a 2016. The 2017 is a little more expensive. Yeah, so I'm going to get into this a little more, and then I'll come back and tell you a story. All right, so I'm back. I've had some of this, and I am ready to tell you a story. And I'm going to keep in the theme of the hotel idea. I'm going to tell you about a hotel experience. So, many years ago, I was moving from Colorado to North Carolina, and there was this road trip involved. And a friend of mine decided to drive with me all the way. And so I was like, sure, this sounds great. And we're driving down the road, and I didn't make any hotel reservations. I had to stay so I could go to my brother's high school graduation. So it happened to coincide with Memorial Day weekend. But I didn't make any hotel reservations because I didn't know how far we would get. So, but I figured, we'll probably be somewhere in Kansas, so it should be fine. There's got to be some hotels in Kansas. So we set out and drive, and right around Salina, which is about halfway through the state of Kansas, I start thinking, okay, we should probably start looking for a hotel. And we get to Manhattan, Kansas, which is also a college town, so that's fun. And we stop at a hotel, and they don't have any rooms. And it's a Saturday night, and we say, okay, so we go to the next place, no rooms. And the people at the hotel are kind of like in awe that we didn't make a reservation, because duh, it's Manhattan, Kansas, and Memorial Day weekend. But who knew it was such a vacation spot? So we get back in the car, keep driving, and we end up in Kansas City, which is, you know, a city. And so we get there, and again, no rooms. Like, we went to 4 or 5 different places, and they called other places, and nobody had any rooms. And then they all said, it's Memorial Day weekend, which was just mind boggling to me that people go to Kansas for Memorial Day weekend, but I don't know, maybe it's the barbecue. So we get back in the car. It's like midnight by this time. We've been driving for probably 10 or 12 hours at this point. And we're like, nope, we're going to find a hotel. We're going to get there. So we're in Missouri now. And our eyes are peeled for hotels, right? So I see one of those signs off the interstate that says, oh, hotel, blah, blah, blah. And so we're like, oh, there's one. So we pull off. And, you know, there's something to be said for red flags. And this hotel, looking back, was covered in red flags. And so I've been driving for 14 hours by this time. And I'm about a third of the way through Missouri. And we pull up to this little motel. And I should have known that something was awry when the people who worked there were leaving. Because that's never a good sign if they don't even stay the night at their own place. And also there was a dirt parking lot. So that was a thing. And so we get a room. It was $24. And so we go down, and I said to my friend, look, let's just like chill for a minute. We can maybe get a little nap, let my car like chill for a second, because it's 14 hours of nonstop on the highway. So we'll just chill for a second, catch our breath, and then maybe we can just keep going. So we walk into this hotel room. Again, there's no pavement anywhere on the premises. There are bars on the windows, and it's a motor lodge where you park right in front of your room. So we go in, and it's your very basic hotel room. And I sit down on one of the beds, and the bedspread is really greasy. And I'm like, okay, whatever, I can handle this. And my friend, meanwhile, comes in, and he spends an inordinate amount of time locking the door, because the locks are being very finicky, and so it takes some time. And so then he sits on the other bed, and we kind of sit there for a minute, and then we turn on the TV, which we very quickly discover has one volume, and it's really loud. And it's like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning at this point. So we think, okay, maybe TV's not the best way to go. Oh, and it also only had one channel. There was like one channel, and then everything else was snow. So we turned the TV off with our fingers, because there's not a remote. This is like a push button TV, because those still existed a little bit at that point in time. And I say, okay, I gotta go in the bathroom and like freshen up. So I go in the restroom, and there is a light bulb hanging. No lampshade. It's literally just a light bulb with a chain. So there's that. And then there's a mirror, and it's just a mirror. There's no frame, nothing. And the mirror has a crack in it that goes all the way from up here to all the way down here. And then I just kind of stopped looking at things because I have no idea what I am about to see. There may be some infestation of God knows what. And so I run the water, I pee, I run the water, wash my face. Really, I just splashed water on my face. I didn't really like wash it. But anyway, and I come back out, and he's laying on one of the beds again, fully clothed, and he's like, yeah, there's cracks in the ceiling too. And so we just kind of sit quietly, and the next thing you know, we hear the neighbor in the room next to us, who's actually outside, not actually in his room, ranting really loudly about beating people up, about wanting to kill people, and about all of the guns that he has, and various other unnerving kinds of things. And so at this point, we are terrified. We know we want to leave, but it also sounds like that guy is literally sitting right outside our door. And so I'm pretty sure I timed it, and because I said, just let my car cool down, and I think I gave it like 20 minutes. And at 20 minutes, we started to kind of like think how we're going to time our escape plan. Because this crazy person is outside ranting about pretty much everything. And he may or may not shoot us as soon as we come out of the hotel. So and we also don't really want anyone to know that we're there. So we're kind of like trying to peek out the windows, and he's quiet for like 5 minutes. And so we go, okay, I think now's the time. We need to go. And so I grab my purse, and we don't turn anything off. We just leave. And my friend opens the door and realizes that he spent all that time trying to figure out how to lock it, but the locks are all wonky, so it wasn't locked. He just opened it. So, which means that we were in that room with crazy person next door talking about murdering people with the door unlocked that entire time, which is awesome. So we leave, and we put the key in the mailbox, and we drive away. And as we are leaving, I look up one more time at the sign of the motel, and it is called, and I kid you not, it is called the Bait City Motel. And that is fucking close enough. So, word to the wise, kids, if you are ever traveling in Kansas on Manhattan or on Memorial Day weekend, make sure you make reservations, because it is a vacation hotspot, and you do not want to get caught at the Bait City Motel. And I lived to tell the tale. So, that's it for this week. Drink happy, drink often, and I'll see you next time.